So we just got out of Don't Breathe.
Yeah.
Which was really good.
Yes, it was.
I'm kind of angry that it was really good.
Why's
because
that?
I wanted to come here and make some kind of snarky comment like, "Don't breathe," more like "Don't watch."
Yes, good.
How
Yes.
dare you be good and rob me of my horrible jokes?
Yes. Oh God.
Although I'm sure everybody would have said that. But yeah, Don't Breathe.
Yeah, Christ, this film was tense.
Yeah,
it really was.
It was. I really didn't know how many things to expect from this because all the trailer gave you was, these people break into this blind guy's house and now he's after them, trying to kill them in the dark, and I'm like, well, I'm on his side, I guess, because they broke into his house. And should we talk about spoilers?
Yeah, we should.
All right,
so, spoiler warning.
I guess we're gonna spoil this movie, so.
Well, we do with every movie.
Let's just say it. Nah, we don't do too much. Yeah, it turns out he's. They even say it right at the beginning. Goes, just because he's blind doesn't mean he's a saint.
He's a saint, and
God, yeah.
But we'll get to that in a bit.
Yeah. So, I was definitely surprised that I was like, well, fuck these people.
Yeah, exactly. These guys are a bunch of jerks.
It turns out, oh my God, this guy's worse.
Yeah, this guy's way worse.
Which means this movie doesn't really have a hero. And the girl, kinda, but I mean
it's definitely very gray morality.
They were criminals, and then he was a worse criminal. So it's basically a bunch of bad people doing bad things.
To other bad people.
To other, yeah. You don't know who to root for at first, but then
and it all becomes clear later.
Yeah, because one of the really cool things about this movie was just figuring out the blind guy's deal.
Yeah.
Like what was going on with him.
Yeah, for like the first 30 minutes though, he doesn't even show up. He's just like...
Yeah, he was sleeping, and then they tried to... Well, when they broke into his house, they tried to, like, gas him or something, like to put him to sleep.
Yeah.
Apparently it didn't work.
It didn't work.
They don't really explain why it didn't work.
Because he's a super soldier.
Yeah. Apparently
he got some of Captain America's DNA.
Well, he is a soldier. He's a vet.
Yeah.
So.
But that's the one thing I found slightly unbelievable about this film was just how unbreakable that motherfucker was. It's just like, yeah.
Basically everyone in this movie, because this was Sam Raimi.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
The directors of the Evil Dead remake, which kind of had the same problem with that one guy who we talked about in our video, who got his ass whooped but he kept going. And that's kind of like in this movie. I mean, one guy gets killed right out.
Yeah, he was the lucky one.
Yeah. And then the other guy. Fuck. The other guy was he was the Eric of this movie.
Alex, yeah.
He got shot. He got thrown out a window. He was strangled. Beaten with a shovel, and he kept going, man.
Yeah.
He kept going.
But
cut my eye, Mickey.
Seriously, I think he did at one point.
Yeah, he had a black eye. The girl got whipped pretty bad too. She fell through a vent, and she got attacked by the dog. The dog, by the way, I'm as bad as it was. I'm kind of glad they didn't kill the dog.
Yeah, same. I
don't like even
as scary as that fucking dog was. I'm glad they didn't kill it.
As a Rottweiler, they're usually pretty friendly.
Yeah, usually.
Yeah, they got the same reputation as pit bulls.
Yeah, they got a bad rap. But
yeah. All right. So should we explain what the dude's deal is now?
Well, I think we should just start from the beginning.
Yeah, so
the whole premise of this movie is that there are these three robbers who basically hit people's houses. One of them, this kid Alex, his dad works for a security company, and they hit the houses that his dad's security company basically works for. So he has like the keys to the place. He knows how to get in and everything. So they just
Which you'd think that the police would figure that out at some point.
They would, but the thing is that they have like strict rules where they don't get any. They don't ever take any cash. They don't take any valuables amounting more than $10,000. So this way, if they do get caught, it's not anything serious. They get like maybe not so much a slap on the wrist, but
yeah, as minimal as a punishment as you can get.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So then they find out that about the blind guy. Did he have a name?
No. You know what? Throughout the whole movie, they never gave a name for that guy. He was just
I have to look that up on IMDb.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they find out about him, about how someone hit his daughter with a car and they paid out a settlement.
Yeah.
And he lives in this broken down neighborhood by himself. Mm-hmm. And they think that the money is in the house, which it was.
Yeah, this is like, we can get $300K, and the one guy, Alex, was just like, no, we can't do that. I said no cash. We just need to, like... And they're like, quit being such a little bitch. Let's just go do this. If we do this, we'll never have to do this again. It'll be one last job.
One last job, man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's one of those...
Because the other two characters, I don't know what Money's deal was, but...
yeah, they had code names.
Yeah, they had code names. And then Rocky
and Money.
Who's played by Jane Levy, who played Mia in the Evil Dead remake, is also in this.
Yeah.
Looking very Mila Jovovich-ish, is I like to say. I got that vibe from her in this movie.
With the same hair.
Yeah.
It basically... the reason why I said she was the hero of this movie was because... they established, some backstory with her because she has a daughter, and she's trying to move to California away from, I guess, her parents.
Her abusive mother and her Nazi boyfriend. Nazi scumbag boyfriend, whatever.
Was he really?
He had a huge swastika on his right hand.
Really? I missed
when
that.
he goes to smoke, you just see it right on there, God. Tattooed.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the ends justify the means.
Apparently.
So they go in to break into this guy's house. They try to gas him. Didn't work. So he shows up. And Money tries to cover and says, I was just tripping balls and I came in here. I'm just gonna leave.
Yeah.
And then he finds out that they broke the lock in his house and then
to the basement.
Yeah, and he tries to shoot him. Which, again, super soldier because he disarmed him very quickly.
Yeah, very quickly.
For a blind guy.
Pins him up against the wall, and he looks like he's about to strangle him, but he just shoots him right in the mouth, and Money's dead, leaving...
I'm thinking more Daredevil than Captain America at this point, obviously.
And Alex, at that point, was just like, you know what, screw this, I'm out.
Yeah.
Because he got scared and he ran off, but then he went back. He was so close to being clear, and he went back into the house.
He almost made it!
He almost made it. And he went back to look for Rocky, who was hiding in a closet.
Yeah.
And then runs into the blind guy.
Yeah, so they're trapped in the house now because he locked up everything from the inside. He boarded up the window they broke. And so they try to go into the basement to go through the cellar door on the outside because it was they found out it was bolted from the inside.
Yeah.
So they go through the basement and they find he's got a girl tied up in this makeshift padded room.
Yeah.
And turns out
that's where shit really gets weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It turns out that girl is the girl who hit his daughter with the car. So they're gonna try. They're like, okay, we're gonna get you out of here. They cut her free. They go through the cellar door, and they open the cellar door, and there he is.
He's right there.
He also, in addition to having Daredevil and Captain America powers, he also has Michael Myers powers.
Yes, he does. Or Jason Voorhees powers.
Yeah, one of those. So he's there. He starts shooting. He kills the girl.
The one that was locked up.
Yeah, and he freaks out about that.
Mm-hmm. But you don't figure out why.
Yeah.
But
that's when things get really bad.
Yeah.
Because they find out that he was keeping her there because, well, for one, she got off in court because they paid out of court, I guess, and they
didn't go to jail.
She didn't get penalized or anything for it. Mm-hmm. So then, fast forwarding a bit. He whoops the shit out of Alex. We think he's dead at this point.
Oh yeah, there's actually a point where he just takes a pair of garden shears and stabs him with
beats him like you said, beats him with a shovel, he got hit with everything in that
It
house.
looks like Alex is about to get the upper hand when the washer dryer turns on.
Yeah.
And like messes up the guy's hearing, so he just starts
Yeah.
beating him. Then he turns the thing off right before he gets the gun, and oh god.
Yeah,
There's a lot of like back and forth, like are they gonna get out of this or not? And,
Yeah.
shit.
Definitely. There's a lot of tension, a lot of
Yeah.
a lot of atmosphere. But anyway,
This movie does not waste any time either. It's just like fuck.
yeah. So he gets a hold of Rocky, and he puts her in the spot where the other girl was.
But let's rewind a little bit first before we get to that point. So
okay.
he's beating the shit out of Alex, and meanwhile the dog, once they get back out of the basement, which that was my favorite sequence in the movie, when he turns the lights off in the basement
Yeah.
and they're like in complete darkness,
Yeah.
and it's like this whole big cat and that was the best part of the movie for me.
Definitely,
Just the way it
yeah.
was shot. And
I remember it wasn't in the movie, but it was in the trailer because there was supposed to be a line where he says, "Now you'll see what I see."
yeah, which wasn't in the movie at
Yeah.
all.
That's a shame.
It really
So-
is a shame. But so they get through all of that. She ends up going. They end up running back all the way upstairs.
Yeah.
Getting trapped in one room. The dog is now loose again because they knocked out the dog earlier.
Yeah, and then it woke up and was chasing
And
him.
it was pissed.
That dog, when you saw that dog, you're like,
Jesus.
oh, goddamn.
Yeah, you're just like, oh fuck me.
Yeah.
And so she ends up getting into the crawl space.
Yeah, she goes John McClane.
The dog follows her in there.
Yes, I forgot about
yeah,
that.
and it's just like, fuck.
Then it goes from Die Hard to Aliens.
Seriously. And oh my god,
That dog, man, that is a well-trained dog.
fucker did not give up.
No.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And so getting worse from there. So
She basically got away from the dog because she fell down this thing. She landed like
Yeah.
this, which would have killed a normal person.
yeah, the dog.
But
Yeah,
no one in this universe is normal.
yeah. That before that, the dog like tackled Alex and knocked him out a window.
Yeah. On top of a glass ceiling.
Shit. Every part of this fucking movie, man.
Yeah.
And what really made it great, though, at least as far as I was concerned, was that the crowd we were with was very vocal, very loud, like, oh my god, don't do that, you know, like
Yeah.
those types. So they're all freaking
Yeah.
out. I'm sitting there, like, just with a huge smile on my face
Oh.
throughout most of this movie.
Yeah. This is a movie to watch with friends.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
All right. So should we get to the big twist now?
Yeah,
I think it's
'cause
time.
she goes into the crawl space and she manages to find a ventilation shaft that goes outside of the building. She manages to kick it open, but right before she's able to get out, the guy basically grabs her by
Yeah.
the throat and pulls her down and into the basement. And
Okay. So.
yeah, sorry.
Basically, any noise in that house was just
Yeah,
like,
that was your death sentence. And he could smell you too. It
Yeah.
wasn't just hearing.
Yeah. Anyway, so she's in the basement in the harness that the other girl was in, and he was like, you don't understand. She took my daughter away from me. I kept her here because
It was
it's only
only
fear that she gave me one back.
Yeah.
So, she was pregnant
Yep.
with his daughter,
Uh-huh.
or his child at least, and then they killed her. So now she has to take her place.
Yep.
And here's the thing, he goes,
And then things get even more uncomfortable.
oh God. Okay, so he had her up in the harnesses, and he goes, I'm not a rapist. I would never force myself upon a woman, but he is. But
And that's when he takes the vial out of the fridge and reaches for the turkey baster.
oh,
Oh boy.
oh. So,
And I gotta give this film a lot of credit because it's one of those where it doesn't rely heavily on jump scares or gore.
there are some jump scares.
Yeah, there are some jump scares,
Mm-hmm.
but there's not many.
Yeah, it's more about the
they
story unfolding and the atmosphere and the tension. The
Yeah.
tension, especially
It's
when they were in
just
the dark.
They pull that tightrope taut
Yeah.
for like after the first like 15 minutes.
Yeah. So anyway, he's about to use the turkey baster,
Yeah.
and then Alex shows up.
And just
With
beats the fuck out of him.
Yeah, just beats him up, and you think that's where the movie would end. This movie didn't know when to quit.
No,
because
it
he somehow got, again, superhero powers.
Yeah, they handcuffed him, and he somehow just managed to. They handcuffed him to the wall, and somehow he managed to just rip the handcuffs off the wall, and he just like basically shoot. Alex is fucking dead at this point.
Yeah, that was.
He caps Alex, and he's just
his
sitting
end right
there with like just with this crazed look on his face, with the gun in one hand and raising the other hand with the detached broken handcuff, just like yes.
Oh, God. So then she runs out of the house.
Yeah.
And she's scot-free. And dumbass decides to turn around and go, out here you have no powers. And then out comes the dog.
Out comes the dog.
The dog goes after her.
Yeah.
She chases her to the car. There's no keys in the car. She fights the dog. She traps the dog in the trunk.
Yeah.
And then the guy grabs her back, takes her back into the house. She uses the alarm.
Yeah, she
button.
triggers the panic button on the alarm because again, Alex's dad works for the security company, so he had the thing that disabled the keypad.
Yeah.
So she just hits the panic button, which messes with his hearing, and she just goes to
She
town
pushes
on.
him down into the basement, and then she grabs the money and leaves before the cop shows up.
Yeah, and cut to the denouement. You find out that fucker's still not dead.
Yeah.
The cops actually pull him out of the house, and they're like, he's expected to make a speedy recovery.
And apparently they didn't really do a search of the basement.
Yeah.
To well, he took the body and I guess he put it in a thing under the floor.
Yeah, he put it in
filled
like
with
quicklime so it could
acid,
cover the smell, and then very like Edgar Allan Poe, Telltale Heart. He just basically did that and put tile over it.
But still, I would think they would find something. They're gonna probably wonder why he has vials of his own
some
jizz.
semen in a fridge in his basement.
And why do you have a spot in your house that is like looks like a prisoner should go?
Yeah, and I have to say that was the best part for me is like when everybody's just like, oh, and they show the close up of him filling the vial, and you just see that one stray pube at the bottom.
It's one of the grossest things I've ever seen in a horror movie.
Fucking
and
disgusting.
I've seen some gross stuff.
I mean, again, there was like no gore in the movie. Just that one shot was enough for people to go, oh, we didn't mention. Should we mention like during the whole when they handcuff him and like beat the shit out of him? What happens with the turkey baster?
You know what? I knew it was coming too.
People cheered at that point.
He's cuffed, and she gets up and she's like, "You motherfucker!" She's like punching him, kicking him, and she grabs the turkey baster. And as soon as she grabs it, I was like, "It right in the mouth, right?"
Yeah,
like, yeah, right.
Jams it right into his mouth and presses down.
Oh, I bet shooting that scene was horrible.
Yeah. Well, I want to assume that what they used for that scene was like Cinnabon frosting.
Yeah,
or something.
I know, but still, just this psychologically.
Oh yeah, of course.
No.
Yeah.
I have seen some gross shit in movies.
But that
I can think of a lot of like friggin'
nasty.
Drag Me to Hell was a disgusting movie.
Yeah, it was.
The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing is another one.
Yeah.
Just oh man.
Dead Alive, the custard scene.
Ugh. Good.
I remember it.
God. Ugh. But that I think this is up there. If it's not on top, it's up there.
It's up there now. But fuck.
Yeah. So that was the movie.
And I have to say, like I said, it was very entertaining. It's one of those. It is kind of a nail biter because everybody we were with was just like freaking out every 5 seconds, just like, "Oh my god!"
We should mention also that we were in a D-box theater.
We weren't actually in the D-box.
Yeah,
seats.
we didn't pay, but there were people in the D-box.
Yeah,
and we were like as soon as we walked in, I'm like, why do people want to see this in D-box? This doesn't seem like a D-box movie. Like you go see like Fast and the Furious in D-box,
right? Or like. Anything,
something
like any kids movie.
Like we had friends that went to go see Tron Legacy in D-box.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's something you pay D-box for, but
but not for
I bet they were freaking out a little because they're
their chairs are rattling. Every time there was a jump scare and an orchestra singing, it's just like, oh fuck, god damn it. So
I'm amazed that's still around. Actually, it's so expensive.
I know.
Like whatever.
But
anyway,
I had a lot of fun with this movie.
The
Stephen Lang, who played the old blind veteran. Fuck. He played that part very well. He was a
Yeah.
very, very creepy character,
Oh yeah.
especially in the blackout scene in the basement.
Yep. I like the scene where he's like there's like rows of shelves and he's just standing there and then he just sort of steps back and just disappears into the darkness.
Yes, that was the worst for me. And another part where people like were screaming in the audience was when she's like going like this because she can't see in the dark, and he's standing right
Yeah,
there.
he's like just like standing there
Like
waiting
standing there
here.
like this, just waiting for her to get closer, and all of a sudden you just hear Rocky, and he just goes boom, like right in like.
You know what I would have did if I was being chased by a blind guy like that? I would have grabbed like pebbles or something and just throw them.
Yeah, exactly. Throw him off the set.
Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, it was one of the better horror movies I've seen in a very long time.
Yeah, again, it was very well done.
Yeah,
I love the way it was shot. I love the way
very
it was lit.
a unique idea too.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything that's.
It was a
like
very
this.
minimal cast, and everybody played their role.
Very small,
Very well.
very small area they were into. There was a lot of.
Yeah.
It felt very claustrophobic at points.
It did, and what made it worse was also very isolated, because that's the whole thing. I'm sure
Yeah.
a lot of people who are watching this video now are just like, well, why didn't they just call them the neighbors? They explained that right away.
There's no neighbors.
Except for him, that whole street that they were on was abandoned.
Yeah.
Nobody comes out there.
That's.
And of course, it's also Detroit, so it's believable.
Oh, Detroit.
Yeah.
They-
So.
Hey, maybe this is a prequel to RoboCop, and that's how Detroit
Maybe.
got rebuilt.
Yeah.
It might explain the superhuman powers that everyone had too.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh,
Oh my god.
yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it was really one of those where it held my attention the whole time, because it was not a slow burn.
Mhm.
Like, they established stuff very quickly. It's a very basic premise, and they just get going. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
these are our
And-
players. This is the premise, and go.
And it was a short movie too.
It was only an hour and 28 minutes.
Yeah. Which again, we don't see too many of those anymore.
No, we don't. A lot of them are dragged out like
Ugh.
2 to 2.5 hours or more.
And it used its time very well.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like any moment in that film that my time was wasted.
No. They every scene was perfect.
Yep.
Everything that happened, had a purpose.
Yeah.
So
I would highly recommend this movie.
I would as well. I'll probably before
Bring your friends, bring a date, turn the lights off,
Yeah.
and watch this shit.
Before when we said we were getting to spoilers, I'll probably put a time code that people skip ahead.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely worth a watch.
Yeah.
So
Not the most fucked up movie I've ever seen, but it's definitely up there.
it was a very smart fucked up movie.
Yes. Yes, it was done very well. Fede Alvarez definitely is proving his chops as a horror director.
All right, well, so we'll wait to see what he does next.
Indeed.
All right, so that's Don't Breathe. Don't not see it. Ha! I did it. There you go. You can breathe now.